Ecuadorian alpaca.
All right. I think, yeah. Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. If we could all stand to salute the flag. And Chip, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Here's Sandy. You good?
It's like the first really cold day of the year.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's the law, the local law.
Yeah. So we're dedicating this meeting tonight to the Citizen of the Year, the Community Citizen of the Year, who is Jim Myers, our beloved highway superintendent. Jim, of course, is not here because there's one thing he hates a lot, it's praise, but yeah, and attention. But I imagine most of you know Jim. He's been working for this town for more than 30 years. I've never known anyone quite so dedicated to their job. Jim doesn't sleep all winter because he's worried about the snow and if they have enough salt and if any of the plows are going to break down, and which inevitably happens. So he's just an incredibly dedicated community member, and he's got a heart as big as Alaska. I really love that man, and we're praying for his health because I think most of you have seen him and know he's going through a rough spot. So we dedicate this meeting to him. And also, I would like to say that we lost a community member this week or last week. Uncle Sonny died, who also was a total figure. Is that the word, figure?
Fixture.
Fixture, thank you. I knew there was an F in it. A fixture of the community. Sonny cared so much about his restaurant. He cared so much about cooking for everyone, and he again was just a very dedicated and long-standing community member. And he will be missed. And I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Also, I don't know if this is a little known fact, or it's a little known fact to me that Sonny's name was Merwin Kirk. So, read a roll call, please.
Wendy Burden.
Here.
Julia Dakota.
Here.
Eric Ames.
Present.
Nathan LaVirtue.
Here.
Teddy Secor.
Also present.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. Rubbing off on you, Teddy.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, but there's an addition, and I'm really sorry she's not on the agenda formally because we've asked her to come, and I'm very glad she's here. We have Beth Ann Canero from actually a retired retired from the Marine Corps.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is just incredible. And she's here from the Office of Veterans Affairs from the county, and she's going to speak with us as well. So what we're going to do tonight is first have a presentation by Dr. Brian Tim, who's the superintendent of the Pine Plains School District, and then we will move right into a presentation from Beth Ann, and then we will resume normal town meeting protocol. So a motion to, yeah.
Second.
Thank you. I know.
Nathan?
Yeah.
It's quiet.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we
All
vote?
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, Dr. Tim, will you come up and address us, please?
Certainly.
So thank you for the opportunity. Really what I'm here tonight is to raise awareness on some of the things that we as a school board have been discussing. This is really the third town meeting that I've had the opportunity to attend. We still have a few more scheduled. I'm hoping to get to all of the towns just to make sure that everybody is fully aware of all the things that we've been discussing over the last year or so. So really one of the biggest questions that I've been asked is, why is Pine Plains considering right sizing? And before I get into it, and I do have a slide deck, and I think there are some others that we could pass out, what I would like to do is just go through where you can find more information, because tonight what I'd like to do is just to give you highlights of some of the things that we have been discussing. But if you were to go to our Pine Plains Central School District website, and on the top toolbar where you see District, Board of Education, Community Connection, departments, and schools, but if you were to click on districts, you'll see a drop-down menu. And on that drop-down menu, you'll see a tab called Future Ready Organization Information Center. And on that landing page, you will see a number of presentations that we have had. And they started back in July of 2024, where we had our 5-year fiscal plan that was discussed. And if you were to click on that action button there, you will see the slide deck that was presented along with just the video of that workshop. So this way, all of the information that I'm going to share tonight, it's going to be just snippets of the important information from them, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knew where they could go and find more information. But before I get into it, you'll see that I did have workshops on enrollment trends and foundation aid, along with instructional staffing, as well as enrollment projection and facility analysis, and then facilities utilization. So those are all of the things that we have discussed, and without further delay, I'll hit some of the highlights. So in my first year, and this is my 4th year as superintendent of Pine Plains, my first year I started taking a look at our budget and our enrollment and a number of different indicators. And one of the things that I ran across is that we have one of the highest per pupil costs in the county. So one of the things that I wanted to try to drive into is to why is that the case? So my first year I started taking a look at our enrollment, and what I'm going to do is just highlight some of the enrollment trends that we've been looking at. So I did an analysis from 2003 to 2004 all the way through 2024, 2025. So just about 2 decades worth of analysis. And it was very interesting to see that in 2003, 2004, our enrollment in the district, and that was when we were K through 12, was 1,420 students. Our enrollment last year, which was the 24-25 school year, and this includes pre-K, was 783. So we have, and bear with me on my math here, but it's approximately 50% decline in enrollment over a 2-decade period. And I think that one of the indicators there is we still have the same footprint, but 50% less students. In my second year, when we were starting to prepare the budget, the governor started indicating that she was going to reduce foundation aid. So there is a little uncertainty with what's going on with foundation aid. Foundation aid, just so everybody is aware, makes up a very large portion of our state aid. Our state aid, and these are round numbers, so please bear with me a little bit here. Our overall state aid that we receive is about $8 million. $6 million of that is foundation aid.
Wow.
Now, foundation aid, and I can talk a little bit more about this, but it started and was established in 2007. And additionally, there is a law that is in there, which is sometimes called save harmless, also known as hold harmless. So those two terms are used interchangeably. But really what that is it ensures that districts do not receive less foundation aid than the previous year. So that is good and somewhat unsettling, and I'll explain in a minute. But foundation aid is a very complex formula, but it has two extremely important, impactful variables for the Pine Plains Central School District. And the two variables that are impactful is student count and wealth ratio. So the student count, although we have decreased our student population significantly over time, because of hold harmless, we have continuously gotten the same allotment of money. The wealth ratio is something that has been changing over time, and we as a whole school district look very wealthy on paper. And they assume, and I should quantify that, the state government assumes that that means that the district is wealthy. And they make decisions based on wealth ratios, and I don't agree with this, but their point of view is, well, I guess you can go get more money from the taxpayers. That doesn't really work. But it is something that is impactful and is certainly concerning. Now, in this last year that the governor brought this up, she ended up giving us full funding. So we got our full funding. But we did do an analysis, and she started to indicate what our reduction was going to be. The reduction was going to be a total of $4 million from foundation aid. So when you do a comparison of what we were originally talking about, which was the $8 million, and that would be $2 million from other aids and then $6 million from foundation aid. When you reduce the foundation aid from $6 million, take $4 million away from it, it really only leaves $2 million. So we're looking at a gap of $4 million perhaps from the state government. We were fully funded for this school year, so I'm thankful of that. I am curious as to what is going to happen in the future. I don't know how much you pay attention to this in relation to what's going on at the state level with the government, but when they passed the budget, they also had a provision for the Rockefeller Institute to do a study on foundation aid. And they did deliver a study. They did identify different variables that they thought were more appropriate, and they did come up with a new formula. I'm not sure what our allotment is yet, because we are still off formula, is what they're telling us, because of the hold harmless provision. So hold harmless is still in play, which allows us to continue to get our fully funded amount. I have not seen a run with this new formula that they're going to do with the Pine Plains data yet. So that is something that I am working on, trying to get to see what our real gap is going to be. I did, at one point in time, think that we would have another year of fully funded foundation aid. But when I was up at NISCUS just this past couple of weeks ago, and NISCUS is an organization for all the superintendents in New York State, so we all gather and talk about these types of things and hear presentations and get an understanding of what to expect from the state so we can prepare for the upcoming school years. They started to, they originally thought that we would get fully funded foundation aid this year coming up. Right or wrong, I think based on the fact that it's an election year coming up. But they're also starting to give signals that I'm not so sure about that. And I think, and this is beyond my understanding of everything, but they are also fighting with a gap from the federal government on healthcare. So they're trying to weigh what's going on with all of those things. And I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm just trying to paint a picture of what I understand is happening. So I am very concerned about foundation aid. I thought we had one more year, but I'm not 100% sure on that anymore. So then we started continuing on and doing a enrollment by buildings. So we took a look at 2004, 2005 school year, all the way through 2024, 2025 school year, so basically 2 decades worth of time. And the most important thing that I think from that analysis was taking a look at our enrollment. And for those of you who have the presentation, on the left side is the student breakout by grade bands and really schools for 2004, 2005. And then the breakout for last year for the 24-25 school year. What I found interesting is in grades 6 through 8, plus grades 9 through 12, that was all housed in the current junior senior high. That enrollment was 823. And I'll just remind you that our enrollment for last school year was 783. Additionally, looking at last year's data, when we add together Seymour Smith, which is grades 2 through 5, with enrollment of 210 students, and then Cold Spring for the grade bands of kindergarten and first grade, which totaled 115, and then pre-K, which totaled for that particular time 33 students, that was equal to 358 students. Which, if we go back 2 decades, was approximately the enrollment at Seymour. So then we contracted with Dr. Ross Haber, who does these types of enrollment projections and facility analysis to ensure that, or to do an analysis on the impact of what would happen. In his conclusions, he concluded that the district could consolidate into 2 buildings, that the change will not impact the delivery of service or increase the class size, that the change will decrease transportation and operational costs, and that the closing of a building will generate revenue by either being sold, leased, or rented. So before I go on, I also just want to say that we have not, as a school board and myself, we have not come to any conclusions as what to do. We started to see that there is a definite need based on financial concerns coming out of foundation aid. And also, it's, you know, I think the right thing to do is to right-size our district at this particular time. You know, it's kind of, I equate it to like what I'm going through with my family right now. Like, I have one student who's off in college, I have one who's still a junior in school. Eventually, they're going to go off, and, you know, I have a big house. Do I need this big of a house? So that's what I feel like is kind of happening here. But again, I just want to reiterate, no decisions have been made, but we have recognized that this is a significant legacy decision that we are facing. So by the discussion with the board and myself, we thought it'd be best that we start going around to all the towns and making sure that everybody is aware of this situation. Upcoming presentations, and that's kind of what I'm talking about now, we are still in the process of having all of our town meetings. We plan on having employee forums. We plan on having parent and community forums. So all of these things are upcoming. Additionally, next steps that we are in the process of engaging with at this time is we are doing an analysis of operational costs per building. We are certainly going to be closely monitoring foundation aid, and we're going to continue to focus on being fiscally responsible. So that is, in a nutshell, what I've been doing for the last 3 years with the Board of Education. And I think right now what we are working on is raising an awareness to make sure that everybody understands the landscape that we're facing and trying to do this in an open and transparent method.
Dr. Tim, could you, I don't know if the board has questions, but could you, if people who are here, if you have questions, can you address those first?
Sure, I'll do the best I can, but again, I don't know that we have all answers yet. Sure.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Just in terms of timeline, when do you suspect that you'll be able to see Pine Plains data in the new formula? And also, when do you think the final decision will come down from the state?
What do you mean by the final decision for, oh, you mean with respect to,
Funding.
yeah. So that's an easier answer to give you. I'll know once we see the governor's budget, which unfortunately is not going to be until April, but sometimes it is a little bit later than that. We will get a first state run in February, but they do change. So what'll happen is the governor will put out their first budget, then the state and the House will put out their budget, then they're going to go back and forth and try to haggle over what it's going to be, but we won't know definitely until sometime in April.
You will wait to make your decision until seeing that budget, final budget,
With respect to what?
the closure.
I don't know that it would make sense to wait that long, because that really does shorten the time frame of preparing and notifying. There's also a lot of back-end information and data that has to be done when you close a building, and then you have to change all of the data over to a different building. So there's a lot of logistics that we are facing. So I wish I could give you a little bit more concrete answer, but it's difficult.
As far as the asbestos abatement in Seymour, has that been completed? I know that the floor tiles in the gym were the original tiles, and that they contain asbestos, and that's a huge health concern, especially for small children.
Right.
I've got two questions. That's part one.
Sure. So the abatement is on the floors, absolutely. We are in the process of doing that. We are preparing that project and getting it approved by state ed. So we're hoping to have that work done this summer. And that is really part of our last capital project. I wasn't the one who put that one together. But for whatever reason, there was some cost concerns which caused that to come out of the project at that time. But then when we got done going through that project, we had some money remaining from that project, so we wanted to re-engage and do those floor tiles. So the goal is to have that work done this summer.
And then there was, I think it was in the Pine Plains Herald, there was a quote from you saying that to get Seymour Smith up to speed to right size, it would take $25 million. So if that is the 25, if we have this $25 million that has to be raised, wouldn't it make more sense to put the money into adding on to a 50-year-old facility, which is Cold Spring, versus a 100-year-old facility, which is Seymour and has the asbestos to deal with as well?
So before I answer that, I think I was a bit misquoted there.
Okay.
So it was the building condition report that did an analysis on our entire district. And that is, if we were to do everything, meaning like if you see a crack here and we fix that, that would be a total of $25 million. So I'm not going to say, there's definitely, our buildings definitely do need some work. I will not dispute that. But I do think that that was a misquote. Additionally, I don't know what we are doing yet. So we are really purposefully trying to raise awareness and then come up with a plan. So that could be a possibility.
this seems like a 50-year-old building versus 100-year-old, and there's tons of space at Cold Spring to add on to, right size to that building. I'm
Right.
just putting it out there, I thought we were having.
And I'll go one step further. If this trend of enrollment continues, does it make sense to have two buildings? And I'll point to districts north of us that have successfully gone to a one-campus school district. So again, I'm not sure what the right answer is. I am just trying to make sure that everybody understands why we're wrestling with this topic of right sizing. And
Would the right sizing happen within, let's say, the asbestos is abated in Seymour? Are we talking as soon as fall of 2026, that Cold Spring could be closed and all of the DK kindergarten and first grade be in Seymour by next fall?
I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I can't stand here and answer you that question, but I will tell you that if we do have a $4 million shortfall, I'm going to have to do something. I'm not going to tell you, I can't answer what it is, but that's a huge gap. And what I can tell you is I'm not going to go and try to ask the taxpayers to cover a $4 million gap. I mean, that's the quickest way to get out of here. So,
Yeah.
yes.
I would just like to suggest, it's obvious that change is on the way, that building not be sold, but that the district retain the property and the building as rental, as community space, because once that land is gone, you can't get it back. You don't really know what's down the road. So I think it would be prudent to hold on to those assets as you consolidate. Those assets could be used in other ways.
Well, and we would need to do, I understand your point on holding to properties, and to add to that, if we were to rent it out, whether it be to communities or to other organizations or whatever the case might be, we could turn that into a revenue stream, which would allow us to then help close that 4 million gap that I'm talking about. Yes.
I have a question about the decline in enrollment. What accounts for that trend, and do you expect it to continue?
So can I speak not as the superintendent for a second? 'Cause so this, I'm going to give you a Brian Tim, not superintendent answer. Honestly, I think that some people are just moving out of New York State. Additionally, I think that the cost of housing is through the roof. I think that young families starting out, which are the ones that are having young kids, are getting priced out of the market and having very difficult times buying houses and maintaining properties. And I think people are then looking for affordable housing. And I think there are other localities where affordable housing is easier to obtain. That's a Brian Tim answer. That's not a superintendent answer. That's my guess.
May I answer that, Craig? Also, too, I mean, I know this for a fact that this has become a weekend community as well. That's a big part of it. I know because I work in this field. So on our street, I think 2 houses were just sold to, people outside of the area that just use this as a weekend residence. Their children aren't home to go here.
Right.
They go to the city or they go to private schools. And I know that for a fact, that is a big part of it.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, and that is the reason for our wealth ratio increasing and increasing and increasing.
You have
So.
to be a registered voter, I guess, to be included in the wealth ratio calculation, right?
No, I believe it is just the property that is owned in the district.
It's a property that's
Yes.
owned in the district.
Yep.
The assessed value.
Yeah.
And I will, don't quote me on this one, but so the wealth ratio, the way that works is if you are, a perfect wealth ratio would be 1.0, meaning that you have a large number of people that have properties that are higher, and then some that are lower, and then the average is out to be a 1.0 wealth ratio. Our wealth ratio has been increasing over time, so don't quote me on this one. But we started around like 1.3, 1.4 about a decade ago. And last year, when I looked at our wealth ratio, we were 2.47. So we look 2.5 times wealthier on paper. And that goes back to what I was talking about. The governor, the state government, they don't come around and look at everybody's property. They just get a spreadsheet and says, 2.4, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sandra?
Oh, sorry.
Do you have any of the statistics for students going to private schools over the same period of time?
No, I have not looked at that data. But that is something I could certainly look into. We do have a number of students that go to private school. I don't think it's enough to really significantly change the numbers, though.
It's not in the hundreds.
Yes.
So I was going to ask if there's any known implication or discussions going on about what would happen in the case a building closes to the employees of a closed building. Would they be furloughed? Would there be some type of plan to resituate them? Has there been talks about that at all?
So one of the things that we have been doing ever since I at least started is I recognized the problem early on with the right sizing need. And every time someone were to retire and or leave to go to a different location or whatever they might do, we take a hard analysis on that position and determine whether or not we really need to backfill it or if we can reallocate our resources. And over the last couple of years, we've really been focusing on reallocating our resources, so this way, when we do come to the point where we are right-sizing, there is hopefully going to be a minimal impact on the employees. I'm not going to say there's none, because there is redundancy in service when you close a building, and I'll just give you a
Superintendents, engineers.
right. So like when you become, instead of
Porters.
2, you have, do you need 2 kitchens? Do you need 2 kitchen staffs if you're 1? Do you need double the custodians, or do you, so there's a lot of that happens, but we are trying to be very mindful each time someone vacates, whether or not we need to do that. It's also based on certification. For example, if we were to have a chemistry teacher that decided to leave, I need to look at everybody's certification. I see nobody else that has chemistry certification, I got to backfill that one. If it's a elementary teacher, then I can look at everybody's certification. Do we have an elementary certified teacher that's not fully being used as a classroom teacher? Can I move this person in? So those are all the factors that we take into consideration as we've been going over the last couple of years. Yes.
I believe that Cold Spring School was closed once before, correct?
I believe so, but I was not here for that.
And I was just curious because I don't believe any of the taxes went down when that building was closed. And then when it reopened, there was a significant impact to get the building up and running again. We had a big assessment, I guess you would call it. So have you looked into what the impact was back then? I mean, did it make a big difference?
So I have not looked into the history of what happened, because everything has changed, over time. So really what I'm trying to do is be mindful of what the facts are that we're facing in front of us right now. So I have not done that analysis, to be honest with you.
Why do we keep putting money into a school that's going closed at some point over the last couple of years? They look very close to it, and we've redone the entire heating system, new roofs, new sidewalks, throwing money into the school.
Which school are we talking about?
Cold Spring. Wouldn't it be time to maybe not do that at some point? I mean, these are multi-million-dollar projects.
Sure.
And you keep doing this.
So that project, I wasn't here for that project.
Okay, well,
The project that we have coming up is really been strategic in really focusing on the junior, senior high as much as possible, because regardless of what decision is made, that building has to stay. It's just our biggest building, and it houses the junior, senior high.
oh yeah, I agree.
Right. So,
Is the revenue being collected from the Anderson School now?
yes. Yep.
Is that disclosed? Or?
I don't have that figure off the top of my head, but yes, we do have a contract with them for them to run our space, yes. Yes.
First of all, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. I know that you've got a couple more towns to go through, so
Yep.
you're going to be on repeat for a lot of these things.
Yeah,
So I get
yeah.
that. I'm just curious what, and this is purely speculative, and if you want to just like let the ball go by you, that's totally fine. What other levers might you have at your disposal if, when you do the cost analysis of either a single or two building closure, if that doesn't make up the shortfall? What's next?
Good question.
Yeah, that is a great question. I will be honest, one of the biggest things that is in our budget, and it probably comes to no surprise if you are or if you're operating a company or anything, it's people. Salary and benefits
50%
make
of our
up.
budget.
Right. So,
48%.
Well, I rounded.
right. So, I mean, nobody wants to hear that, but I mean, that is the reality. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yep.
Because that 4 million isn't just year one, that would be into the
That
next
would-
future, so there has to be that cost savings.
Right.
It's cyclical, that every year there's that
Right.
coverage of that gap.
Correct.
Right. Which is why maybe the purchase of, or the selling of land might not be something that allows that, unless you bank it and hope that the interest rates are high, but,
Right.
Falling.
no, I know, that's
Yeah.
why I said hope.
I have a question.
Sure.
So, I guess once you know by April, a little bit more visibility, you guys are gonna be moving pretty fast to figure out a bunch of different scenarios, to scenario plan, I assume, right? So what should we assume in terms of, when we'll talk to you next time?
Well, certainly you're more welcome to come to any of the
Yeah.
community forums and things of that nature.
Yeah, great.
And then I think what we'll start doing from there is starting to have some more board conversations. If you would like me to come back and give an update at some point, I certainly can.
Yeah.
But I don't have a definitive timeline. I do apologize for you on that.
Those community forums, like they'll be announced in the Pine Plains Herald, and
Yep.
that information will get out to all.
And I can, if you would like, I can certainly make sure. So we send out like a district newsletter. I would be happy to send it to the town board if you're interested. I can get you,
That would be
Trish.
great.
So I'll have my secretary reach out and make sure we have everybody's email addresses. And then when we do our blast, you'll just get everyone that we do, so.
And then we do a newsletter here that goes out to 1,100 people.
Okay, perfect.
It's just, we can amplify that.
That would be great. I mean, that is one of the things that we have been trying to do, is to try to get the message out.
Right.
Unfortunately, unless we have an email address, it's hard for us to reach out to people. So if I can send it to you and you can send it out, I mean, that would certainly double the volume of people that we're reaching.
That's easy.
Perfect.
Okay, does anyone have any more questions?
Nope.
Dr. Tim, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now I would like to ask, I'm sorry?
The town member don't have to stay.
Oh. Beth Ann, to come up and speak to us about the Veterans Affairs.
All right. Well, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. I know it might have been a last-minute addition to your agenda, but I certainly appreciate it. First off, greetings. I'm Beth Ancanero, the Veterans Outreach Coordinator for Dutchess County Office of Veterans Affairs, just recently having started to work there July 14th. I'm also a Veterans Service Officer, which means I provide counseling on all benefits that are available to veterans. I have 21 years of service in the Marine Corps. I retired in August of 2021. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really humbled by that. I completely enjoyed my tour in the Marine Corps. So served in Iraq, mission rehearsed for potential wars in the Baltic Sea. So recruited Marines, I trained Marines, I educated Marines. I just had a blast. And both my children were born within the Marine Corps as well. I am thrilled now to be the outreach coordinator. This is my fourth job since getting out of the Marine Corps, but this is the one I really love, and it's a call to action really for all the communities in Dutchess County. I'm visiting all 30 towns and villages in the two cities. So I'm in the middle of my tour, and I really have been really gracious for all the towns to meet with me. And Stanford, thank you for having me. You're part of my Northeast sector, so I'm glad to complete the Northeast sector. And I have good news for the Northeast sector coming up for November, which Stanford you'll be involved with. I'm working with the Northeast Community Center, and we're going to plan an educational workshop sometime in late November, early December for all veterans, and then thereafter start Veteran Counselor Days, where I will come to the communities and I will provide services to these veterans so that they don't have to travel to Pleasant Valley. That is why I've been hired, so I go out into the communities, hence what I'm doing now. So the Dutchess County Veterans Affairs Office, our mission is clear. It's to maximize what veterans have earned through their service to their country, and a lot of them just do not know about those services, nor do the people in the town who serve those veterans. It's simple but powerful statement sets the tone for all the office's efforts. We emphasize that veterans are not being granted favors, but are rightfully claiming benefits earned through their service. Our mission also conveys accountability. The office positions itself as a partner and advocates helping veterans navigate complex systems at the federal, state, and county levels in order to obtain every available resource. Our office acts as a local bridge to federal VA or Veterans Affairs benefits, New York State programs, and county level support. We are trusted veteran service officers, and we guide veterans and families and their caregivers through benefits that range from health care and disability compensation to housing and employment assistance. But importantly, our office serves as a welcoming and supportive place, countering the idea that government agencies are impersonal. So if you open up the brief that's on the left side of the blue folder, it's titled Mission to Maximize What Veterans Have Earned. We'll go through that one. And if you open it up to slide 3, that's where we'll start. You'll see that we're located in Pleasant Valley. Used to be in Poughkeepsie, for those of you who knew. But now we're in Pleasant Valley, which we think is more central to Dutchess County. So slide 3, who we are. I want to underscore our office's dedication to personalized support. Veterans, families, and caregivers are encouraged to seek guidance with assurances that staff will listen, answer questions, and work actively to address their concerns. These are responsibilities that we do not take lightly. Our duty is to inform, and our duty is to assist all veterans and their caregivers and families. We emphasize dignity and respect, which is vital in fostering trust among veterans who may feel alienated by bureaucracy. Our office is more than an administrative center. It is a community hub for care and connection. If you turn to the next slide, you'll see our team. So we feel now that if we provide our faces to all of you, a face to a name is always more personal than just reading about us on our website. On the next slide, you'll see our traction over the last 5 years. So from 2020 through 2025, here are some of our key metrics which we look to build upon. It outlines the number of veterans and families we have served, new clients enrolled, and services delivered. It also highlights top services such as disability compensation and pensions, and less utilized ones like the New York State Gold Star annuity, blind annuity, and supplemental burial benefits. These statistics prove impact and growth, reinforcing the office's credibility to its veterans and families. By including wartime statistics and breakdowns, the slide reveals trends. For instance, the prominence of Vietnam veterans compared to declining World War II veterans and Korean veteran populations. You will note that for 2025, we are on track to serve about 5,000 veterans and 2,400 family members while providing services to maybe 400 new clients. Overall, the data illustrates both success and continuing challenges that we need to reach the veterans and family members of more Persian Gulf veterans. These include those who served in Desert Storm in 1991, and then those who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan over the last 2 decades. These veterans represent the younger veterans, those like me. Though I'm not young, I'm older, but we are the young ones compared to the Vietnam ones and World War II. These veterans are transitioning from military service and desperately trying to find their niche in the community, which is very challenging to do. It's hard, frustrating, and demoralizing for a lot of them. And we recognize that the younger veterans feel as if they cannot wrap their heads around the fact that these benefits exist for them too. So we need to reach them in your community. Right now we see you have maybe about 21 to 30 of these veterans in your community, and we would like to visit all of them, or at least reach all of them. So in looking at your data from the census data in 2023, your community has about 4.3% veteran status out of all its citizens here, which is it's a significant number for a community. 4.3%. That was from the 2023 census data that I pulled that.
Okay.
So and if you want more specific data, I can tell you of that data how many of them actually have applied for benefits. Not many of them have. Maybe like 15% of them have. This doesn't mean, so we just need to get our services known to all of them. If you go to the next slide, our goal, we move from reporting to ambition, which is harder. With 13,500 veterans estimated in Dutchess County, the office acknowledges that many remain unreached. Some barriers include lack of awareness, stigma, complexity of systems, geographic or mental health challenges, trust issues, and transition challenges. Especially with the younger crowd, their goal is to find employment. And if they don't have employment, then they feel insignificant. And the fact that they just left their family in the service that they were in means that they're lost. And so they hide out in their homes, they play their video games, or they go to work, if they do have employment, and they go home and they do nothing, or they just drink, or, there's a mental health stigma attached to all of this, and a lot of them are afraid to reach out. So we're here to do just that, to reach out to them. The discussion here is about responsibility. We recognize the stake of inaction, and we are positioning ourselves to tackle these barriers head on with your help. These benefits earned can mitigate the negative consequences that I just listed. An outward collaborative approach to our outreach efforts demonstrates our unified commitment to serving our veterans and their families. Next slide. So how do we do that? How do we close this gap? We present a clear strategy as it aims to reduce confusion, broaden communication, and simplify access. Target audiences include veterans, families, caregivers, municipalities, nonprofits, and community organizations. The approach is inclusive, recognizing that a supportive ecosystem is critical. Our outcomes are tangible, reducing poverty, improving quality of life, and combating loneliness. Importantly, it emphasizes meeting veterans where they are at, signaling flexibility and a proactive outreach mindset, demonstrating by our example that we mean what we say and our office aims to be out in your community often. Next slide, please. This slide just lists the federal VA benefits that are available. The other slide deck that you have specifically goes more in depth with those federal VA benefits, and you can read them at your leisure. Some of these benefits include healthcare, pensions, disability compensation, education, careers and training, employment, housing, life insurance, burials and memorials, family and caregiver programs. And the caregiver one is the least known benefit that veterans know about. So caregivers are eligible for a monthly stipend, grief counseling, and assistance with helping that veteran. And they really don't know about that. And the promise to address Comprehensive Toxics Act, i.e. the PACT Act of 2022. By laying out these categories, we want to reinforce our role as the guide through this complicated Veterans Affairs benefits system. Veterans are reminded that benefits cover multiple aspects of life, and they don't need to navigate them alone. A lot of veterans you will hear will say, I'm fine, I'm healthy, I'm not broken, I don't need them, and they're reserved for somebody else who's in worse shape than me. That's really not true. In fact, it's not true at all. Every veteran has earned these benefits, and they don't have to be hurt to rate them. And if they are hurt, ill, injured, or suffering from mental health issues, those benefits exist to help them in a complementary approach to whatever nonprofit is also helping them, or whatever other care they're receiving. So the next slide is additional benefits that we offer assistance with, to include the New York State and Dutchess County benefits. Beyond federal programs, Dutchess County Affairs assists with property tax exemptions, and the blind annuity program, supplemental burial allowances, and reduced fee licenses for hunting and fishing, which is significant to a lot of veterans because that's something that they like to do. It gets them outside, it gets them in nature, and some other, you'll read with some nonprofits that getting veterans, or anyone out in nature for that matter, connects them to themselves. All right. We have county-specific programs include the Honor Veteran Program, the Favor Discount Program, which means the veterans will receive a discount card, show it to various merchants throughout the county, and receive 5 to 15% off, maybe 20% in some places. We have transportation services and referrals to local housing and mental health programs, especially the Mental Health America Veterans Programs, which is co-located with us in Pleasant Valley at the Veterans One Stop. And you do have a lot of their programs and brochures out in the front, which we appreciate. We demonstrate a holistic approach to ensuring veterans are supported across all levels of government. We remain that comprehensive navigator, again, for benefits that might otherwise be overlooked. The next slide is our call to action. So obviously this is a baseline approach, which is simply starting with me getting out in the community. It's taken me a couple months to do it, but we'll be done by the holidays. It's time to act. So we are now going from service delivery to engagement. Our call to action encourages deeper collaboration with municipalities, nonprofits, and veteran organizations. The goal is to extend reach, create networks of awareness, and ensure consistent communication channels. And we still reinforce the message that veterans' issues cannot be solved in isolation, but require effort. All right, so even after I speak to all the municipalities within the county, I'm also working with the veteran organizations, the American Legions, the VFWs, the Marine Corps Leagues, and then I'll move into the nonprofits. There's a lot of nonprofits in the county that a lot of municipalities don't know about. The next slide is the first steps. Here we lay out a practical action plan for municipalities and organizations. Some of these initiatives you're already doing, but I'm here to reinforce them anyway, especially because you're doing it well here in Stanford. I see your Hometown Hero banners everywhere, the brochures out front, and we appreciate that. We also appreciate that you have that Veterans Affairs Committee page on your website, and I can help you build it out further if you need assistance with that. And I'll work with the local American Legion Post to do that. So that I really appreciate that, all of us at the office, to do that. We want to stress integrating services, sharing success stories, and making veteran referrals routine, or rather making it routine for veterans and families to have that one municipality stop where they can find information and make appointments with their office. And we hope that your town hall will become that one-stop shop. I will provide all the materials that you need. I just need somebody to work with to do that. I'm in the process of making a banner, a flyer, and updated brochures with QR codes, calendar invites, so that I can come out to your community and serve them. So I hope that will work. Suggestions for innovative measures to enhance the approach include quarterly Veterans Benefit Counselor Days, micro-grant opportunities, which are available on our Dutchess County website, and educational workshops, which I hope to have the first one in this area, like I said, at the end of November, early December. Next slide is moving forward. This is the creative outreach, which most likely will happen probably by the summer of next year. I want to advance our outreach efforts. To expand impact, we propose innovative outreach strategies, include pop-up resource lounges at local venues, storytelling projects, mobile veteran service counselor days, and wellness passport incentives. On the tech side, we want to start maybe a veteran text system, interactive benefit navigator tools, and social media collaborations. Community-driven initiatives like business spotlights of veterans who have started or attempted to start their businesses. Faith partnerships is coming on board as well, and youth mentorships are also included. These creative approaches demonstrate adaptability, aiming to meet veterans where they live, work, and socialize, as we recognize that the different wartime eras of veterans enjoy different aspects of life. As such, we want to make our creative efforts at reaching them as dynamic as possible. And the next slide, summary. We kind of bring this discussion full circle now. Our office's mission is to safeguard veterans' rights and ensure timely access to benefits they have earned. In some instances, benefits expire. So the quicker we can get them into the office, the sooner they can start reaping the benefits of those, the rewards of those benefits, especially if they just left active duty. There's usually a 2-year time frame for some benefits that expire post 2 years of leaving active duty. The veterans will come in, they'll be required to complete a veteran data sheet, a disclosure form, and provide us with their DD-214. Thereafter, we can help them with everything else. Or a family member can come in with them as well, and we'll work with them. The one-stop center there not only has us, but the MHA program as well. So oftentimes, veterans come into our office, and we refer them right to MHA, where they can find other resources that can give them help as well. So with that, please recognize my position at the Office of Veterans Affairs exists to serve the veterans here in this community and assist you as a town to do just that. I'm not asking for you to do any work except help me, and I'll provide all the information to you. Soonest, I will have more information about that educational workshop we're planning up at the Northeast Community Center. And the ladies there said they want to have all the neighboring towns, like 5 to 7 of them, come there. So I think that will benefit your veterans in this community amazingly. With that, if you can consider just giving me someone to work with, ma'am, I appreciate that, and I will send out all information.
Did you say ma'am?
I did. Yes.
Well, first of all, I can't tell you how great it is to hear you present all of this. I've been in this seat for 6 years, but I've been coming to town board meetings for more than a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had Adam Roche come in and talk. We've had the MHA here. There's a veteran here who is a Vietnam vet who helped me. I don't want to name his name. Who helped me set up the display down when you come into the building. But it's been very frustrating for me over the past 6 years. I've wanted to have a Veterans Outreach Committee, and it has never happened. No one's. I in fact sent out letters to every veteran in town at one point, and I think I heard back from 2 of them. And my sense is they really didn't want to hear from me. Like, who am I? But so this approach, and MHA is already doing it, or whatever, MHA, you know, with a veteran to veteran. But there's a veteran here who I know was very, very active across the river doing outreach work, Vietnam vet. And I'm very much hoping we can engage him to work with you, because it seems to be, I mean, we'll be here and can disperse information, but I think you need a veteran. And what I'm hoping is that you could come back and we could get him to reach out to the other veterans, and then you could have a meeting just with veterans. I think that's more important than, you know, it's great for us all to hear all of this. I don't mean that, but what would really be great is if we could bring people together, so they can experience your programs.
Absolutely.
And you're a former Marine. You know, it's like you fit.
Thank you.
We don't.
Understood. Right. This is why we're doing that, and I'm hoping the educational workshop that I'm planning with the community center can bring in those veterans you're talking about. And there, if you want me to address your committee for Stanford, then I can do that.
Well, we need to have it first. I mean, that's been the problem, and we don't even. I mean, we could. Maybe we don't have a Veterans Outreach Committee. Maybe we just have a liaison with you, and then through that's how it happens. Because it just doesn't seem like it's really happening.
Yeah, I'll talk. I'm talking to another individual tomorrow about the Veterans Committee that he runs in his town, and I'll get best practices from him as well. And then I'll relay them to you to see if it's feasible for you as a town to get together, or if not, I can do it based upon what he tells me tomorrow.
And I will get your information to this veteran.
That would be fine. Perfect.
Because I'm hoping we're reeling him in.
Okay.
It's something he's passionate about.
Yeah.
So
it's hard for veterans to get out. They don't feel comfortable with those.
He's out and about, and he's active in the community.
Good.
And I know this is something he's passionate about.
Good.
So
glad to hear. I'll work with him. Please send me his info. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any questions from you else? You good?
Anyone have questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I was just
if, like, you're looking more for like a platform, like you have all your programs set, right?
Yes.
You don't need like the community to create programs, you just need a platform to hop onto.
That's right.
So like if the recreation commission needed, like if you need a space or whatever, you just need someone to coordinate the
Mhm.
space and everything there?
That would be perfect. In fact, that's what I'm doing with another town, is they have the space, they're reserving the space for me, and then I'll work with them to get veterans to go there.
Okay.
So,
That's something I think the recreation commission could probably.
That would be fabulous, Sarah.
all right, perfect. Thank you. Mhm. All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Good meeting.
Wendy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all this stuff up here.
Oh, we got all the stuff up here.
We got stuff up there?
We got Guam. No, we got.
Got Guam?
No, there is a, for anyone that's interested and
They want
wants to take the
agendas.
resources, there's the Veterans Crisis Line.
Yeah.
There are some stickers and there's a handout of information.
Get the handouts up front.
Yeah, we'll put them
Yep.
out front.
Okay.
Well, this is yours? Yeah, this is yours.
Yeah, that's why I was writing them.
With open.
I need a little space. Yes, I know. I get to do that every day.
I bet you do.
It's my wake-up alarm.
Okay, so I think we will move back to the normal course of events. Town Board Liaison Reports. Teddy?
Yes. So, first off, I just want to start because it's the time of year. It's spooky season.
It certainly
So I
is.
think the Haunted Fortress deserves to be brought up first. We're going every weekend in October except October 31st, which is a Friday. Please, hopefully. I'm trying to give a report, ma'am.
Could you shut the door, please?
Yeah, they're talking.
So every weekend we'll need volunteers for handing out hot food. Sometimes we need people to help with makeup or help handing out costumes, but mostly we need actors and we need people to act as guides, where you will guide people through the entire Haunted Fortress. It is great. Please, we can't pay you. There is no money in this, but there is snacks. There is food, and Claudia does makeup, and you get to talk with a bunch of people that are really cool. So anyway, our next meeting for that probably isn't going to be until December, because at the end of the season, we close up the Haunted Fortress. By the time we would be done closing up the fortress, we would have our first meeting the day right after that, and we are sick of everybody and ourselves, so we don't want to have a meeting. So we will wait until December to hold that. That should be December 8th if all goes according to plan. The Climate Smart Communities Task Force meeting, we had a kind of quick meeting last month. We talked about how all of the composting bins have been handed out to the community successfully. So we're really kind of thinking about next steps for another small scale project that doesn't cost any money, which is great, and we can look for grants and things like that. Even if it's just an informational campaign, we can do stuff like that. That next meeting will be October 20th. And last night was the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. In November, there will be 3 public hearings. These are actually rather quick for the ZBA. So there will be a use variance for 1315 Bull's Head Road. There will be a front yard setback variance for 1106 Dual Road. And there will be an area variance for 313 Jameson Hill Road. And there was supposed to be a 4th public hearing for next month, but for 81 Sisters Hill Road, more information and clarification, really, of information was necessary about that project, so there will not be a public hearing for that one. So that next meeting is November 12th.
Do you know if they get a letter from the architect to, I guess to Mary Dalton, that they're requested to get before, if it comes in quickly, do you think there's a way that they can get on the agenda for a public hearing, or if they're just food for a month.
I think honestly, for a month is what it appears. I mean, you'd have to ask either Mary Dalton or Kathy Zire or someone on the board, you know?
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna ask, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I think it's really for a month. We'll have to wait. But otherwise, that's my reports.
Thank you. Eric?
Yes, good evening. The planning board met on September 24th. There was a public hearing for a lot line alteration at 119 Layton Road. There was no comments from the public, so public hearing was closed. And then the same property, there was business on that one, 119 Layton Road, lot line alteration. There was a motion to approve, and it was voted unanimously to approve, so that one's done. There is a lot line alteration and consolidation at 27, 33, and 45 Barton Lane. It's a 4-lot consolidation and alteration to get rid of smaller lots and better separate ag from residential. This one, there was a Secor short form negative declaration. It received conditional approval based on a driveway easement review that's going to be done by the town attorney, Robert Butts. Next was a minor subdivision at 369-377 Pugsley Hill Road in Stanfordville. This is a 2-lot subdivision. There's going to be a public hearing on October 29th for that property. Next one was a site plan approval for Burdick Park at Route 82 and Huns Lake Road. There's going to be a public hearing for this case next month, October 29th. And I think there's going to be a referral to Dutchess County Planning. Lastly, there was a major subdivision discussed at 729 Cold Spring Road. This is the Polo Horse Farm subdivision. There were 2 issues that were flagged. One was wetlands with the DC jurisdiction in the works, and a subdivision of part of the portion of the property. There's only frontage on Stanford, and the town of Milan is going to maybe potentially provide access to the lot because it can be reached from that town as well.
But there hasn't been a public hearing called for that, or?
No, not yet. It's not yet.
Okay.
It's still work to be done on that one.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Nathan?
Yes, the Recreation Commission met last night. The most notable things that I want to bring up with the community are, there is a Maker's Market happening next month. I'm going to promote it more heavily next month because it will be immediately a couple of days before the event is happening, but I at least want to just plug it real quick.
It's in November?
It's in November, yeah, and it's, I think, 2 days after our next meeting.
Okay.
So I'm going to really push on it then. Yes. The big thing that's coming up is Trunk or Treat. So that's October 24th, which is a Friday from 5 to 6:30. So I will speak louder. The thing we need are trunks. We need your cars. So there are 30 spaces for vehicles that have candy. We have 13 signed up. We need 17 more. You do not need to necessarily supply the candy because we have been getting numerous donations from the community, thank you, of candy. So we just need a vehicle. Bring your favorite sports car, your favorite dump truck. I don't care what it is. Show up, put a couple of decorations on it, and throw some candy in the back for the kids.
Do they sign up ahead of time?
They do.
Yes, yes.
So how do they do that?
They can do that by reaching out to the Recreation Commission, which is recreation@stanfordny.gov.
What was the time on that?
5 to 6:30. It's a Friday. Yeah.
It's what?
10/24, Friday the 24th.
Yep.
So the week before Halloween.
So you should go over
So,
to the haunted
yeah, go
portraits.
there, park there, fill your trunk with candy, let kids grab it, close the trunk. You got prime parking spot for the fortress.
Pete cried so hard last year after that.
So.
He was so scared.
That's it.
Of Trunk or Treat?
After trunk or treat, he was all hopped up on candy and ran into the fortress.
Oh, got it. Julia?
The CAC met last month.
A big celebration around the publishing of the NRI. Thank you, Mark, for your comments. The NRI was approved by the town board last month, and it's now posted on the town website with both appendices. Community Day was briefly discussed, and part of that was the Dark Sky Initiative, which is the dimming of the lights to allow for migration of moths, birds, and that actually was very, very well received in terms of education to the community. Really successful. Several years in a row, the CAC has had educational campaigns around certain initiatives. Buttercup, the maintenance of that area, of that land is moving forward. There are 5 volunteers that have volunteered to help upkeep.
That's all?
But they're pretty significant in terms of the equipment they have.
Huh.
So the CAC was upbeat about that. And then a bench in memory of Barry is being delivered to the highway department and will be installed.
When is that coming?
I don't know. It just said it should be shipping shortly.
Should be shipping shortly.
Should be shipping shortly, and we'll be at the highway department soon.
Good.
So we have a meeting next week, and I'm sure that will be on the agenda again.
Great, and that's the one I'm going to go to, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. The fire district has their budget done, and it's very close to the budget from last year. They need to raise $476,177. It's not up very much from last year. The ZBA, the zoning commission met, and we had basically our final consultation, in-person consultation with the year with our consultant Nina Peak, and a lot of questions were asked and answered about where different pieces belong in the zoning code, and we discussed definitions, which still are going to need work, but we have made some progress with that. I wanted to announce that, and on the ballot in November, the library is asking to raise their, what would you call it? Their tax, their levy. It's not hugely significant, but it's on the ballot and has to be voted for, and I personally hope that we can support the library, because I don't know of any other town that has the breadth and number of programs that they put on. I just think they do an extraordinary job, and I hope we support them so they can continue to support us. Claudia.
I am on the library board, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me.
We do.
But I will say that it's a very small number.
Yeah, it's only up $30,000.
Very small, and we are frugal.
And what?
Frugal.
They're frugal.
Frugal.
Frugal's the name of the game. Yeah. Yeah. So it's only $30,000 more.
And per household, it's.
Sounds like there's a fire.
Yep.
I think that's all I have to say. So, on that note, I will open privilege of the floor. If you have something to address the board about that concerns the town, please come up to the podium, say your name and address, speak into the microphone.
And that does not concern the public hearing?
No? No. The public hearing will be after that.
Yeah. No, I meant for questions.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate, because there was a misunderstanding. When you come up there to talk, we ask you to keep it to 3 minutes. If you ask us a question and we can answer it, the clock stops. Mark.
Yeah, Mark Burdick, 19 Burdick Way. Regarding the recently adopted natural resource inventory, the board, I believe, wisely eliminated the recommendations in Appendix 1 and 2. So that being said, by what criteria will the town board now instruct the planning board and the other boards to use in making their determinations relative to the concerns listed in the NRI? So you went from huge buffers listed to now you've eliminated those recommendations. So
Yeah.
now how's the planning board going to act in making future determinations?
So we have, so Janet Allison, she went to the CAC roundtable earlier in the year, and basically, there are other towns that are passing their NRIs, and she's going to come to us with a recommendation for how we give our feedback to the planning board and the ZBA. But they're not. It's not an enforceable document. These are guidelines. This is guidance.
Well, it says, I mean, your resolution said the planning board shall use this as a planning guide, so.
No, it's Janet will give us the recommendation for how other CACs are sort of bringing this together. We don't have, I mean, kind of like Superintendent Tim, there's no like roadmap for it, so she's gonna come to us and.
So, but I think the planning board, but just, no, sorry, not.
No, that's okay.
So I think the planning board now is going to have this document in front of them.
They will. And so
And
will ZBA.
they're going to have questions. I mean, I see things in there that contradict the master plan already.
So they also, sorry not to cut you off, Mark, but they got the documents to review as well. So they were CC'd, all the documents.
Yeah.
Curtis, as part of the process, sent it to them. They got very minimal, they didn't get any comments, really. I think I sent a comment, there were very few comments.
So no comments on those 6,500
No, I
foot
mean,
buffers?
Not really, no. I mean, they were
Well, and
like,
again, the buffers, Mark, the buffers were just part of the appendix and.
Well, the appendix was part of the main document.
Yes, but they weren't asked, there was nowhere that it asked or told people to enforce those. Your keen eye found them and we took it out, but if there's any, if issues come up, we will work them out with the planning board and the ZBA. It's hard to anticipate what could happen when Tom and his committee are dealing with the NRI.
yeah.
So I think there's going to be issues. So you need to be, they should make, when are they going to come back with those recommendations?
Well, I go next week, so we'll have it on the agenda. We know it's a hot topic. I think Janet's also like a little bit apprehensive about also sort of what, she wants to make sure she's making a good recommendation to us based on what the other CACs are doing. Like, no one wants to be imprudent in this, like understanding their sensitivity around it, you know? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Henry Boringer, 38 Thompson Lane. It's very nice to be here this evening. Let's see here, a couple of quick thoughts. It primarily goes to Dr. Heim and the school district. One is that I think what the board should really think about doing is work with other town boards and put pressure on the school district to reinstitute voting at a more local level. It was eliminated some years ago.
But I don't
Meaning, you used to be able to vote before you lived here. You used to be able to vote in Stanfordville for the school budget. Now there's only one place to vote for the school budget. That's in Pine Plains.
Right.
That practically disenfranchises a lot of other people. Okay, I've had conversations with Dr. Himes just this evening about that and made him aware of my feelings. And I think, you know, that they can do voting here and in other places in the district by just using paper ballots, and does not necessarily require machinery. Because that is the reason why, when they switch from the old machine to this new technology, they use that as an excuse to kind of to centralize the school board voting and the school budget voting. And I don't think that's a healthy thing to do, to disenfranchise voters. So I would encourage this board to discuss with other town boards, to have a serious conversation with the school district to see when and how and if they can enable voting back at a more local level. Okay. The second thing is Cold Spring. You know, it really saddens me to see it potentially closed. It was really the heart of the town when we had a town. It was like the heartbeat. Everything focused there. It was a wonderful place and a great school. But now we have a building. And if they do vacate, and they probably will, I think the town should seriously think about what's best for it. Think about how we should employ the building. Meaning, should we go out and talk to people about perhaps repurposing it as a senior home or a nursing home? That's been done at several other places. I don't think we should let the school district be the final, what shall we call it, vendor of the Cold Spring, of the Cold Spring facility. I think that we should be active in that, and I think that we should take a lot of control in that, and not just leave it up to them. I mean, clearly they deserve the revenue that comes from it, but I think that we should see that it's purpose that's best for the town of Stanfordville. Okay? And I guess that's my only thoughts for this evening.
That's great.
So you take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good idea.
Anyone else? Okay, then I will close the privilege of the floor and open the public hearing on proposed local law number 6, which is the moratorium to extend the temporary moratorium on battery energy storage systems and wind energy conversion systems. What I was going to say was that the moratorium was going to expire in January? November. And this has been a discussion that's going on with the zoning commission. What I would like to do is hold another, even before we write an ordinance, it seems as if the temperature, at least of the zoning commission, is to not allow battery storage systems here. But no decision has been made on that end. But what I would like to do is what we've done recently, and hold a public forum before we get any further, to get the sense of what the community would like us to do. Because it seems backwards that we come down with a law and have the public hearing after we've already written the law. So I would like to get that scheduled, and perhaps we can do it in November, just get some information out on battery storage systems for those of us who are not. I've learned a lot about battery storage systems, but there's a whole new world. Yeah, it is. It's a whole new universe. So anyway, this public hearing is simply on an extension of the moratorium. And if you would like to speak, please just come up, say your name and address, and let us know what you think. Okie dokie. I guess I will make a motion to close the public hearing on the local law number 6.
Second.
Who was first?
Pick.
Jinx.
I haven't written Eric down yet.
It wasn't Eric, it was Teddy and Nathan.
It was Teddy.
Yeah, well, both of them, but they beat me to it.
All right.
Okay, so we have to do the roll call here.
Okay.
So are you going to pass the moratorium tonight?
Yes, please.
So please make a motion to do so.
I will make a motion to pass local law number 6 of 2025.
Second.
Wendy Burton?
Yes.
Nathan LaVirtue?
Yes.
Julia Dakota?
Yeah.
Eric Hames?
Yes.
Eddie Secor?
Yes.
Okay. Very quick agenda. We have resolution number 10A of 2025, which is this is like so odd that we even have to do this, but it's to allow the town of Stanford Justice Court to apply for a 2025-2026 Justice Court Assistance Program grant. So the New York State courts come down and tell the court that they need to buy stuff. So then they have to apply for a grant from the Justice Court, New York State, to pay for the stuff that's the way it works in New York State.
And they can't do that without our approval?
No, we're the town board, and even though they're a separate division, we still have to approve. So,
There you go.
whereas the town of Stanford Justice Court has been given the opportunity to apply for a 2025-2026 Justice Court Assistant Program grant, and whereas the town of Stanford Town Board enthusiastically supports any outside funding for equipment and/or renovations, now therefore be it resolved that the town of Stanford Town Board supports the town of Stanford Justice Court in making their application for the 2025-2026 Justice Court Assistance Program grant and requesting up to the maximum amount allowed per jurisdiction. And be it further resolved that this resolution certified on the 6th day of October be included with their grant application and be forwarded to the New York State Court Administration. We voted on this in the workshop because there was a deadline for the court to get the grant in that didn't coincide with our meeting tonight. So do we need to do the roll call again?
No.
Okay.
Well done.
So we have officially passed. I now would like to sadly accept the resignation of Nicole Clanahan from the Recreation Commission. Somebody has to second that.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
And the rec commission already has somebody they'd like to fill the spot that I've received an email from today.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you want to hold off or do it tonight?
Well, we haven't had.
Roxanne Myers.
Oh.
That's good.
Yeah. I make a motion to accept Roxanne Myers or to appoint.
Huh?
Gummy.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Gome.
Gome. It's not gummy. It's gome.
Gummy? I've never heard it pronounced
I
that.
asked her how
It's
to
gummy,
pronounce
yeah.
it last
Gummy?
night.
Wow.
She said
I've been
no.
calling him Gome this whole
So I'm not
time.
gonna call her.
Lauren called him that.
Gummy bear.
Well, Jesse, her husband, says gome.
No.
Yeah.
No, gummy.
Gummy?
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've all made asses of ourselves.
I didn't say a thing.
Or I have made an ass of myself.
We both have.
We both have, but we're not proud. Okay, so Roxanne Gomey.
Second.
Second.
Us.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yay, Roxanne. Gome. Me.
Gummy.
Gummy.
I make a motion to set a date for the public hearing for the 2026 budget for Wednesday, October 22nd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We,
7 PM, right?
7 PM.
Yep.
Town Hall.
Wouldn't miss it.
Wouldn't miss it. Make a motion to approve the minutes of September 11th regular meeting and the October 6th workshop meeting.
So before I second it, we have to do it as two separate roll calls.
Oh, because you won't.
I wasn't
you
at
weren't
one
at
and
one.
Erica.
I wasn't at
Okay.
Monday.
I will
So second.
retract my motion and make a new motion to approve the minutes of September 11th.
A second.
Good work.
All in
No, Teddy
favor,
did it.
except,
Second what?
What?
I
Who was
abstained.
absent?
I abstained.
Now I make a motion to accept the the October 6th workshop meeting minutes.
Second.
Eric abstained.
all in
I
favor,
abstained.
and Eric is abstaining.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the abstract number 10 for October. General fund spent $61,789.49. Highway fund $82,665.93. Escrow spent $14,130.75. And as always, the ambulance spent $62,500. May I have a?
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
One little note I would like to make is that when we were doing, working on the budget, medical costs went up 15%. So, as you know, I'm on the executive committee of the Association of Towns, and we're working to put together a consortium of towns. Other counties have done this. And if we can do it, so if other counties have done it, but NIAID is trying to do it for the state, and if we get enough member interest, we may be able to lower health costs by joining a consortium. It won't happen overnight, obviously. We're going to participate in basically, what's the right word? Like an information gathering system. So we get in on the ground floor simply just by sharing information. That doesn't mean ultimately we will decide to join. It will end up just being what costs are, you know, and that we could get the same health care for our union members and for the few people in the town government that pay for their own health care, but can go through the town. So in any case, we're really trying to find ways to reduce what's a huge increase that we carry. I mean, the union guys do absolutely contribute, but overall, so their costs are going up and so are ours. So, yeah. Second privilege of the floor. Anybody was so moved during the Claudia.
Claudia.
Yay.
Just quick. I'm just thinking about all the people.
Claudia, please say
I'm
your
sorry.
name. and
Claudia
address.
DeBellis, Charwell Drive. I'm thinking about all the things we heard today, and I'm thinking possible potential empty building. Some of our medical practices are expanding. We could rent out part of it for medical, part of it for veterans, part of it for housing, and keep the gym or something as a community center. Just a thought.
The sky is the limit with these possibilities, honestly.
I think, and the question wasn't asked whether the building is an assumed asset of the school district. And they're not the only ones, as you mentioned, to have sort of, to be in this situation. So I think the question I would have liked to ask are, what are the options? You know, what are the options that have historically been taken potentially? I think, you know, so we just don't know the options, really, you know, in terms of what's possible.
But as Henry said, I mean, they do own the building. It's not up to us. However, we will work with them, you know, when the time comes. I mean, it seemed to me Geneva had the smartest solution at all, which was to keep Cold Spring open. It's in the best shape of all the buildings.
It's very sentimental too.
Yeah. Seymour's 100 years old, and it has all those environmental issues.
It has a lot of issues, but, you know, this will unravel in time, and I hope we can stay abreast of everything that's happening. Yes?
Can I ask why they shut Cold Spring down?
It's not shut down.
Nothing's shut down
back
yet.
then?
Like why they're like closing it up?
Oh. Well, if you had come earlier, all of you missies over there, you too.
Reduced enrollment.
Dr. Tim gave a long presentation on all the reasons why the school needs to, what did they call them?
Right size.
Right size.
Right size.
Because the student population has dropped so precipitously. And it's very expensive to run all these different schools with duplicate services, so they
And they're
are
potentially losing state aid.
Yeah.
In the amount of $4 million.
That was the other piece of it.
The math isn't mathing, is what typically happens.
So anyway, nothing's being closed yet. They are waiting to find out from the state if they're really going to lose millions of dollars in foundation grant aid. And if you'd been here, you would have learned what that is, unless you already know. But you can stay afterwards and we'll teach you.
Or we're recording it and you can watch it later.
That's true.
It's true. Also looking to have a town hall. they need a new town hall, so they could possibly rent out Seymour as their town hall, and then
That would
there
be-
are these, I mean, I'm always thinking how to, but.
Well, both of you are.
I think it's more expensive to remediate Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour seems like it's going to be a nightmare to
Yeah, I
remediate.
agree. I'm hoping that they consider the Cold Spring option as something to add on to.
But so does that answer your question? Hello?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay,
we can
I mean,
move on.
no, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, then, thank you all. I hope those presentations were beneficial. I'm really
They were.
excited
Yeah.
about
Rockstar.
the veterans. Maybe we can finally get something going.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Oh, yay!
I'll second it.
Oh, that's great.
Aye.
Fabulous, fabulous, that's great.
Gotta be here somewhere.
Thank you, man. That's wonderful.
Aye.
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 We're all in favor.
Oh, here it is.
And you're only getting half signatures.
What do we do with